We all know Arsenal's priority this summer, and one of our main priorities this summer is getting a striker. Obviously, we've been linked to Benjamin Šeško. I've already greenlit that and said that's my choice for this summer, given that we can't get Isak. I think Šeško is the next best out there worldwide. Arsenal advancing with talks, as Fabrizio Romano has kindly reported. But through the whole season of the 24-25 season, and a lot of the 23-24 season as well, I've complained and talked about how I don't think Arsenal have enough creativity. We don't create enough chances. We don't take enough risks. We don't allow our attackers to be in the optimum situation to get the most amount of goals and assists. Just want to talk about this video that the creativity side in this window should not be forgotten, should not be looked at, and might be arguably, controversially, as important as a striker. If you're new and returning and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'm on the road to 1,000 subs. Smash that like button down below. Comment down below everything you agree or disagree with I say in this video. So yeah, Arsenal last season suffered a lot of creativity once Saka got injured. Odegaard got injured at the beginning of the season, and we only had him as our only real creator, obviously outside of Ethan. We realised that Arsenal don't have enough creativity. We don't create enough chances. We don't have enough riskier passes. We don't have enough ball carriers in the final third and attacking midfield positions. And we don't have enough players that are willing to just shoot outside the box, willing to make something happen. Can have the ability to cause something to happen that is outside of our system, outside of our shape. And can blame Mikel Arteta for rigid type of structures, which I felt like that was a lot of last season, the system and the structure and the way we play. We can blame lack of depth, meaning that obviously we couldn't really rotate, meaning that we have the same ideas, same players doing the same things. Lack of creativity. We saw Fabio Vieira go on loan last summer, whether that for him to get more minutes. Ethan Nwaneri obviously only played a lot in the middle part of the season, and Odegaard obviously had one of his worst seasons at Arsenal. But outside of that, we don't really have creativity. Saka, we know, is our most creative player, but he was injured for the most part, and he gets double teamed, and a lot of teams' defenses is focused around stopping Saka. We know Arsenal need a striker. We know Arsenal are going to move for a striker. We know Arsenal are in for a winger, as we've been linked for the likes of Rodrygo, who I want as well, Šeško, as you know, and I've also said that I want Eze. And the reason I spoke about Eze because I feel like Arsenal need that kind of 10 creative midfielder player. But I'm just very conflicted in what that means for some other players in our squads. Arsenal need players that want to receive the ball between the lines, turn, take a touch that's directional or intentional, have a player that wants to beat a man and then either slip or pass through, take a shot, or play a 1-2, that type, risky type football. We saw a lot of that in 22-23 season. A lot of it was the cause of Gabriel Jesus and his ability to draw attention, for his ability to beat a man, his footballing IQ and technical ability, open up the game and allowing us to have a lot of combinations and play in a certain way. We didn't have that this season, and in this summer I think it's needed that creativity needs to be focused on. Whether that means signing a 10, whether that means signing a second striker /10, whether that means signing a left wing /10, a player that can do both. I think we need the numbers, so I feel like ultimately even if we do get a Rodrygo who is a 10 as well, so will increase massively our creativity. He does love operating in the central areas. We still need another player, an Eze, maybe a Xavi Simons, maybe a Morgan Rogers, a player in that situation that can bring the gravitas. With Eze, he's got ability to carry the ball, skill, great outside the box shooting, great in the eye for a pass as well. Premier League experience over 4 or 5 seasons playing in the Prem. England international, he's ready. You look at Xavi Simons, one of the best young talents in the world. You're looking at Lamine Yamal. That was Xavi Simons when he was at Barcelona, eventually then moving to PSG. Neymar is his idol. He's grown into a lovely player, and I do love the guy. Number 10 has that earmark of a player that can do everything. I think he's left-footed if I'm correct. I love Xavi Simons. Whether he'll be expensive or already trying to deal with Leipzig, take one of their best talents out, would they give us a second one? I will take it. And the third one, obviously, Morgan Rogers, a player that can carry the ball through anyone, ride challenges, pause, and draw players in, which opens up the space. I've always loved it because maybe I'm stuck on this Jack Wilshere stuff where a player can carry the ball, draws players in, then you release at last minute, and the space is opened up, players are out of position, and then the space is open, as you know. Arsenal need that type of player, man. Someone that can bring that gravitas. The problem, though, is that we have Ethan Nwaneri, and we know Max Downham, who's been told is going to be part of the first team next season. Not unsure his role, how many minutes, but he's there. So does that block their pathway if you bring in a player like Xavi Simons or an Eze, who definitely will be in the 10? You already have an Odegaard there who definitely will start in the 10 anyways, as we know in the season. What Odegaard's long-term future will be, this season will determine. But that blocks more pathways for Max, getting enough meaningful minutes, who I feel like is the truth. So do you need to side a 10? Ethan, who it was reported in Athletic that he doesn't want to be. He said his favourite position is Cam. Arsenal said Arsenal long term want to use him in the central areas, Cam. So whether that's this season or next, I don't think he's the natural Saka backup. You need these guys to have the pathway, have the position in the team to be able to play, develop, and grow. And does that mean not getting a player like Eze or Xavi Simons if it's going to block that pathway? I wouldn't do it. But if there's a way that like they're going to be using a left 8, someone like Eze can play left wing and 10, Xavi Simons can play all across the front line as well as in midfield, then you kind of have a bit more depth, because we saw in this season it's good trying to have that finite amount of number, but 3-4 injuries or 2-3 injuries in the same position means you have to rotate, puts more pressure on those players, and the snowball effect happens. So I just thought like Arsenal need to make sure that we don't ignore that creativity. I don't think we will, but once, like, I kind of have an assumption that Kepa, Zubimendi, Šeško will probably be next. Kepa and Zubimendi have been agreed. Šeško will probably be next to be agreed shortly, and I think Rodrygo will be a more difficult one that probably be finalised after the Club World Cup. But after that, that's only 4 positions. We know Arsenal still want to sign a centre back, and I think there's a number 10 / player that can play winger type in that situation. In other news, so you've seen a lot of noise about the Šeško. Obviously, before the window for the Club World Cup closed yesterday, we saw Saudi were interested, but apparently they hadn't moved him. I think Šeško has all his eyes on Arsenal. I think that's just Leipzig trying to put feelers outside to put pressure on Arsenal to kind of agree the deal, agree to their terms. Arsenal know that they need to sell. They ain't got no Champions League football. They need money to kind of help for their dealings this summer. Šeško, they know that's a big part of that. They probably want to get a lot of the fee this year. Arsenal trying to pay in installments. That's probably what's holding it up. And obviously Rodrygo news, obviously a lot of reports even out of Spain now from some Spanish aggregators, one from The Athletic, one that's more one of those kind of pages, saying that obviously Rodrygo all but Arteta wants him. Arteta loves the player. He's spoken to Arsenal want to make him that player. The deal was almost closed. So we're seeing a lot of stuff. I don't want to read into too much, because obviously a lot of ITKs can put stuff trying to make their name, but it seems like the Rodrygo stuff, there's a lot of weight in that. Hand of Arsenal, first of guy to really push that, as well as Florian Plettenberg. So we'll see. And yeah, man, I just need Arsenal to make sure that we have a good enough squad so that next season we have enough depth in every position, including the players that are injury prone, to take that league, because we know Man City are back, Liverpool just got Roberts, so it's going to be serious. Comment down below anything you agree or disagree with I say in this video. Do you think Arsenal need to focus heavily on creativity? And are you confident as me that the Šeško deal and those other deals might get done? Hit the like button, subscribe to K-Paz Pauser. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.